I feel like I really need to be like out of frame. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today is not Skincare Nerds. Today is my hair care routine. We've had a few comments on a few YouTube videos about what I do for my hair, so I thought we'd run through some of the products that I use to keep my hair healthy and shiny and how I style it. Oh my god, that's my stomach.
Oh, that's really loud.
I really need a snack. So like maybe one person asked and we just thought we'd do a whole video on it. So here we are. So to start off with, my hair, as you can see, very flat, has no volume regardless of what I do. So no styling products seem to impact the volume I have in my hair. I have fine hair. I don't have thin hair. I have a lot of it, as you can see. So the actual hairs themselves are quite fine, and that means that I struggle to get volume in my hair. So even when I have it professionally styled, that volume does not last. So I've kind of given up on the volume products, to be honest, because I just know they're not going to do anything. And I just stick to using products that I know are going to make my hair look really shiny and healthy. Okay, so the shampoo that I use is the Virtue Recovery Shampoo. This I've just finished, hence it being upside down. I was recommended this shampoo by colorist Jay Edwards from Edwards & Co. at the end of 2019 when I lightened my hair, and he was like, it's the best shampoo, you've got to try it. I used it maybe 3 times. I was like, I'm never using anything else ever again. This is the GOAT, especially if your hair is damaged, colored, dry, you experience breakage. You definitely need this shampoo. It's the best. The conditioner that I use is actually not traditionally a conditioner. So I actually use a moisturizing mask as my conditioner. I use the Christophe Robin Hydrating Melting Mask with aloe vera. This is also empty. It smells like Hot Man, super nourishing and hydrating for dry hair. I only wash my hair 1 to 2 times a week, so I don't really tend to do a separate night where I would do a mask. Other product I have in my hair washing routine is another Christophe Robin product. It is the Sea Salt Scrub. This is amazing. I absolutely love this product, but it is key to understanding how to use it. Otherwise you'll be like, I don't understand what the hype is. You scoop this out, you kind of rub it between your palms, you put it through your hair, and then you dip your hair back under the shower and start to work it in. So that extra bit of water will help to foam up the product a little bit more and help you to really get into your scalp. So I tend to give myself a bit of a scalp massage when I've got this in. Really helps to break down that buildup of product that can happen if you tend to use a lot of dry shampoo. This is absolutely something that you need. And also if you have an oily scalp as well. I tend to use this once every few weeks, maybe once a month. I usually use this as a first shampoo and then follow up with my recovery shampoo. So that's probably another thing I should mention, is that I do a double shampoo. Yes, that does mean you go through a load of product, but it does mean that your hair stays cleaner for longer, or at least I've found that happens in my case. So I would recommend double shampooing if you find that your hair just doesn't stay clean for long enough. I think something to mention as well is that I do use Salon Professional Hair Care, and I have done so for many, many years. So I think that's why I've been able to maintain my hair health so easily. But also I do take a collagen supplement, and I also don't heat style my hair more than once a week. So I think if you're heat styling every day, it's much harder to stay on top of hair health and reduce that damage that heat styling can cause. I would recommend, as a segue, to use a heat protectant. So this one that I use is the Pureology Color Fanatic. So this one has 21 essential benefits, including being a leave-in conditioner and detangler, which is exactly what I use it for, as well as being a heat protectant. So I put this in my hair when my hair is damp, and that helps me to brush it through. I have the knottiest hair in the history of the world, and that also works as my heat protectant because I use my Dyson Supersonic to dry my hair every single time. I cannot leave my hair to air dry. I just get that oily patch at the back of my head, and this is the product I put in before I dry my hair. I also tend to put in Olaplex number 6 into my hair before I dry it off. This also has kind of heat protecting properties, but it also leaves the hair really smooth. So I would recommend this. I don't love it as much as the Pureology. Like I literally could not live without this. This is kind of a nice to have. The other product I want to mention, which you would have seen everywhere because we don't shut up about it, is K18. So this is a very new product to Adore Beauty. It is a, what do they call it? Molecular repair hair mask, but it is great for really damaged hair, colored hair. I don't actually have very damaged hair, but I've seen real results from this. Major increase in shine for me. So you need to let it sit for 4 minutes to activate. They do recommend not using a conditioner and then getting out of the shower, putting this in, and then doing whatever you need to do to your hair after the 4 minutes. If you find that you cannot get away with not using a conditioner, your hair is just too knotty, you can't get a brush through it, you can put this in, leave it for 4 minutes, rinse it out, and then do your conditioner. But you need to leave it for that time for it to do its job. I definitely have noticed an increase in shine. I don't know if it's collagen or this because I started doing them at the same time. So I can't be sure, but they're both, I think, making an impact to my hair. Now to styling. Now I don't use a heap of styling products because, as I said, I've kind of given up on getting volume in my hair. This is another one that I'll use when my hair is wet. And I'll dry this into my hair. So this is a lightweight strengthening foam, they call it. I don't know really what it does, to be honest, for my hair, but it's kind of a nice to have because it's just a mousse. I remember using a mousse when I was younger to try and get volume into my hair. I think it does add a little bit of volume for me. It is in my routine at the moment. So the other products that I use mainly for styling are the R&Co Spiritualized Dry Shampoo Mist. This, changed my life. I cannot really use aerosol dry shampoos unless it's the IGK, I think it's called Jet Lag. That is a great aerosol dry shampoo, but usually they make my hair really, really flat and it makes it look dirtier than it was before. This one, you actually dry into your hair. So I know not the most convenient situation if you're looking to use a dry shampoo, you kind of just want to spritz it in and leave. You spritz this in, you dry it in with a hairdryer. Wow. It gives volume, it makes the hair look fresh. It doesn't feel great in the hair, like no dry shampoo I think makes the hair feel great. So it does feel a little bit like, I don't know how to describe it, textured, but it is a really great product. It definitely works for me for fine, flat hair. The next thing I need in my routine is a sea salt spray. At the moment I'm using the Balmain Texturizing Salt Spray. I use this to slick my hair. So we'll put in like a video or a photo or something of me with my slick hair so you can see what I mean. But I actually use a sea salt spray instead of, a pomade or any other kind of spray. I find that it holds the hair without making it really stiff. And I find that it just makes it look really, really sleek. And yeah, that's kind of my preference to use over anything else. Key to that sleek look though is a toothbrush, which I didn't bring today. I actually spray this onto a toothbrush and use that to kind of get all the flyaways back and get it really, really smooth. So it looks like there's absolutely zero bumps or anything in the hair. And that is the secret, is a toothbrush. The second secret to that look is the Christophe Robin boar bristle brush. Instead of like separating the hair like some brushes do, like this brush would separate the hair because it's got wider kind of bristles, but this brings all the hair together. So it gives you that just really, I don't know, it makes it look shiny. Yeah, not gappy. Yeah, 100%. I definitely recommend a boar bristle brush for that look. It definitely makes a difference. I couldn't do that look without this and without the toothbrush. So the toner that I use is the Revlon Professional Nutricolor Filter. It used to be called the Nutricolor Cream. I use that probably once a month. And I know that the packet says to leave it on for, I think, 5 minutes. I leave it in for 30. So yes, I'm a risk taker, but sue me. I really do like that for toning my hair. I don't use any kind of blonde shampoos because I find them a little bit too drying for my hair type, and obviously haven't had my hair colored since 2019. So I'm not really blonde anymore. I was back then. I really do love the Orbe, I think it's called the Après Beach Wave and Shine Spray. I rate that over the dry texture spray. It's very controversial to have that opinion, but I honestly think that that spray is better than the dry texture spray. Just saying, just putting it out there. So once I've dried my hair off with the Dyson, let's say I'm doing a wavy style like I've done today, I'll use my Silver Bullet wand. So that is a 32mm conical. And it doesn't have the tong in it. I hate the tong. I manually removed a tong with a screwdriver once because I hate it that much. I just can't operate them. So I definitely prefer to use a wand and just wrap my hair around. So that's what I've used to create this look today. If I'm doing a straight style, I prefer to still have a little bit of body in my hair because naturally my hair is really flat and straight. So I like to have a little bit of body. So I prefer kind of a blow dry finish, and I would normally go for the Silver Bullet hot brush, which I've spoken about before on the podcast too. The only other thing I can recommend is regular haircuts. Invest in hair care where you can. There are some really good brands that are still in your salon quality kind of range, but are a little bit more affordable. I know that these are really bougie and expensive, but Millie has done a video before on more affordable hair care. So go and check that out if you are wanting to up your hair care game. Get regular haircuts. Did I already say that?
Yep.
Use a heat protectant. Try to limit heat styling wherever you can. That's probably my only hair care tips, to be honest. I'm not a hair care professional. I just feel like I take good care of my hair. There's probably some products that I would have put into the podcast episode we did on our hair care routines that I've forgotten to include here, but I just did a snatch and grab from my bathroom this morning. So if I've missed anything, it'll be in the podcast episode because I really thought about that long and hard. So, and if you have hair more like Hannah, which she self-describes as Hagrid hair, then go and check out her hair care routine because she has heaps of products to help with frizz and help define curls. All right, that's my hair care routine for you. I don't have anything else to add, but if you have any questions about my hair care routine, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, I'll see you soon for another Skincare Nerds video. Speaking of Skincare Nerds, if you want to see more videos I've done in the past, click over here.